Meta, Palantir, Microsoft, Nvidia, HP, Micron Technology, Booz Allen Hamilton, T-Mobile, and Comcast. They're all big donors to the ballroom. The defense industry, Lockheed Martin. I just learned today that Caterpillar is Israel's #1 supplier of heavy equipment. That was great to know. It's a bunch of crypto companies, and then it's a bunch of wealthy private donors like the Adelson Family Foundation and Stephen A. Schwartzman, founder of Blackstone, the Lutnick family, the Perlmutter family, right? Okay. So, let's just say we don't know, but we know that they're building a data center underneath there. And they're building the data center to house the architecture of the American digital gulag. Okay? I don't think that any of you, like me, are going to agree that that's a good thing. I don't think any of us want to live in the digital gulag. We don't want the digital mass surveillance. We don't want Palantir spying on us all the time. We don't want them compiling massive fucking files on every American with everything we've ever done, said, smelled, touched, tasted. I don't think most people understand, with AI coming the way it is, just how much you are exposed. Every traffic camera, every scanner, every touchpad. And that's just the stuff that exists today. Just wait until glass can see you, and wait until Wi-Fi can trace you and read your heartbeat. Oh, wait, that already works. Just wait. All the technology that's coming to track and sense and surveil and record you and put it all into a nice database where then AI can analyze it all. And let's just say don't get out of line. Let's just say that don't fucking get out of line, bud. Because it will not go so well. It won't go so well. Okay. And they'll have a whole explanation for why we have to do it. It's for safety. It's for security. It's for terrorism. It's for whatever it is. You know, oh my gosh, the cyber pandemic that happened was so catastrophic. The only solution is a digital ID so we know who's on the internet. Oh my gosh, the AI hacking cyber pandemic. No regular citizens allowed to use AI anymore. It's government regulated now. You can't use your own AIs. It's too dangerous for regular people to have such vast power in their hands. Whatever it is, okay? It's not good. I don't think I need to convince any of you of that. That's not even my #1 concern. We are just warming up. I think we're 2 hours into this. Here is my concern. Do I have a visual aid here? I think I do have a bit of a visual aid. It's a lot of sources. Okay. I just want to... Boom. Okay. We'll get to the visual aid in a second. I want to drink water. How are we doing, guys? It's been a while. I think I'm remembering how to do this job relatively well. I think it's coming back. I wasn't really sure if we'd hit a roll tonight. But I just came up for air. We've been going for 2 hours, and I don't exactly know what I've said yet. But hopefully it's all been kosher. So here's my concern. And I'm honestly, I might make a more concrete video that sort of puts the sources all together. But in this right now, I actually would rather frame this as this is just a theory. This is just a concern. This is not me. I am not claiming that this is happening or has happened. I don't have proof of this. That's not the point. The point is not proof. And at the end, if you still don't understand why, I'll explain it. Let's just, for the sake of argument, assume that the collective independent journalism space is correct. And we are building not just a secret military compound underneath the White House, but also a data center situation, okay, that is going to control the AI infrastructure of the future of American government, warfare, banking, and everything, okay? Because it is under executive privilege, there's no oversight. It's not overseen by Congress. No one can audit it. No one knows. No one can see. There's no record that we can't access, okay? It's all completely secret, all within the executive branch. The executive branch is currently run by a man that actively covered up a multi-decades-long Israeli pedophile blackmail ring. Okay? We all know that it's an Israeli pedophile blackmail ring. And we all know that they've covered it up. There's no one to arrest, no one to look into. Not even Howard Lutnick, who is literally a donor to this fucking ballroom. Not a handler to Trump at all, just a donor to the ballroom. Oh yeah, and neighbors and good buds with old Jeff. Although he lied about it. But we'll get more into the Epstein stuff another day. Okay, just reminding us. The executive officer right now, the chief executive of the United States, is the man covering up that whole situation. He's the man that burned his own legacy to the ground to go start Israel's war for them. He's the man that let the entire U.S. military base presence in the Middle East get bombed to oblivion, probably never to be returned, just so that Israel could have this war. Destroying the entire global economy over throwing this war for Israel. Also, his daughter is married to a literal demon, Jared Kushner. That is the man in charge of the executive branch. And so that is the man that oversees all of the oversight over this project right now. And no one else can double check it. The idea probably came from the psycho-Zionist tech military bros in his orbit. Like Larry Ellison, for example. Like Palantir, for example. Like maybe from Bibi himself. I don't know. We know that they're building something, but we don't know the subcontractors list. All private, all classified. We don't know the specs of what's being built. All classified. We don't know what's getting put in. All classified. Okay? And you're never going to know. And no one's ever going to know. Congress isn't going to know. No one's going to know. But they're going to build it. And once they build it, it's concrete and wire and fiber, and it's done. Okay? And it's not that hard to imagine a world where they openly and intentionally interlink it with Israel. That would actually be quite a logical thing to do. Oracle's already got one in Israel. And we're the greatest allies ever. And obviously we need great communication with our greatest ally. And so it is entirely conceivable that they would actually openly, willingly, and knowingly bake a direct line to Israel into the infrastructure that they are building. And we would never know. And if they were to do that, it could never be undone. Have you ever heard of the Promise software? It was one of the first computer programs ever made. And it was revolutionary. It was made by this really, really fucking smart American. And he was a computer programmer that realized that computers could help law enforcement by databasing all the criminal and court archives of crimes and networking them so that if a dude commits a crime over there, this court over here can know about it, and everyone can kind of know that like, hey, this guy is like, here, this dude committed this crime over here. He's still a criminal over there. Kind of a long line to a digital Big Brother today, but. What happened with the Promise software is the government stepped in, stole it from this private citizen that had made it, a bunch of lawfare, sketchy bullshit, stole it, and then the intelligence agencies repackaged it. And Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, was deeply involved in actually taking over the project and getting a backdoor put in for Israel. And when they reprogrammed this software and repackaged it, Robert Maxwell oversaw the process of inserting a digital backdoor so that way when they gave it out to all their allied countries, to everybody, like, hey, the digital revolution is here. Now you can use computers to keep track of all your law enforcement information in your country, in your police departments, in your court systems. Israel had a backdoor in to see what was going on in everyone's computer systems. And it's one of the original, most important stories about what Israel is most fucking famous for doing, which is producing backdoored and hacked and bugged and compromised software systems that allow them to weasel their way in to your tech infrastructure. That's Israel's number one skill in this world. That's what Unit 8200 is all about. That's what Israel's entire tech industry is all about. And they do it through private corporations that are not explicitly parts of the Jewish government, the Israeli government, but are instead just run by like Israelis out there doing their own thing. And in fact, Ehud Barak and Jeffrey Epstein helped found several companies that do this. Carbine 911 comes to mind. Paragon comes to mind, that hacked Italy. Well, it was located in Italy while it was hacking everybody. That is what Israel does. In the intel world, that's what they're known for. And if you do any amount of reading about the intelligence world, it's not hard to find out. Okay? Long history of it. Infosys, ACOM, I think. I actually think I have a list. Amdocs, Carbine 911, the NSO Group, and Pegasus. So, in one scenario, it's very understandable that Trump would be talked into actually just letting them build a direct line to Israel. Like a phone to your buddy. So you could talk to Bibi whenever you want. That would actually, I could believe that they would actually talk this administration into thinking that was an acceptable idea to just build in at the base. We're the greatest allies ever, and we're going to build the Greater Israel Project, and you want to be a part of it. We're going to be the center of global trade. Obviously, we're always going to be best friends. So we'll just have if our AI brain could talk to your AI brain, that's like how me and my buddies, like my team, like I've got my own AI agent that I'm building that has all this stuff that like helped me build this dossier, build this app. I've got all this. And you know, sometimes I have it talk to like my developers AI over at his place so that we can work together on like working on a cool new feature for web or something like that. But it's a little different when you're building a hard line in to the basement of the fucking White House, right? Okay. And then, that might be happening and we would never know. And they wouldn't tell us. And we don't have any way to verify it. And all that you have to go on is speculation of, do you think Trump sucks that much Israeli, or not? Because from where I'm sitting, there's basically nothing he won't do for them. Nothing at all. But then there's also the other obvious angle. Oracle is the one probably doing this. Almost certainly. Palantir is very likely, almost certainly, being integrated directly in. Both of those companies are run by extremely Zionist Jewish billionaires. Well, I don't think Alex Karp is a billionaire. He's poor. He's one of the poors. He only has, I'm sure tens or hundreds of millions. But you get what I'm saying? They're both run by overtly, militantly, disgustingly Zionist people that are also Jewish. That actively have dedicated their lives to the Israeli cause, to the Zionist cause. Have actively spoken multiple times about how down with the genocide they are, how down with the killing of Palestinians, how down with the whole worldview they are. It is not complicated to understand a situation where any little thing, bugs in the walls, sensors in the concrete, sensors in the fiber optics, anything, you could backdoor this system quite easily if you have a wide open door to Israeli tech firms or subcontractors or anything like that. And it's no big deal because they're our greatest ally. And Trump literally has their massive schlong inside of him most nights anyways. So what's the big deal, right? Well, the big deal is once that's in the concrete or the fiber optics or any piece of this building, it's the literal fucking White House. Okay? This makes Monica Lewinsky look like an amateur. That's just a science fair project. All right? This is the Large Hadron Collider of America is compromised, and you cannot undo it if that is what's happening. You can never undo it. You'd have to destroy the entire White House and pull up the entire ground. You'd have to destroy the entire bunker and just forget about it. Start over fresh. Okay? Now let's remind ourselves, that's just a theory. I obviously don't have any proof because it's all classified. Not even Congress people would know whether or not that's happening because it's all classified. That's the problem. No one knows. And so from where I'm sitting, it looks like there's probably going to be a lot of Israelis involved in this project. And you would be retarded if you'd think they wouldn't bug it. Go ask anyone in the intel communities. You could start with John Kiriakou for some stories about how Israelis are famous for fucking bugging everything, for trying to hack and get into and backdoor everything, right? And so it is a national security threat of the highest level to let the president do this. It is unacceptable. It is treasonous to have our government going along with this without some level of security to say you cannot work on the AI infrastructure that is going to run the digital mass surveillance of American citizens in perpetuity for the rest of our lives on your children, your children's children. That architecture, A, is unconstitutional and should be fucking burned to the ground, but B, cannot be even remotely